For entrepreneurs, navigating your way to business success can be both exhilarating and exhausting. Whether you're changing locations, expanding, or leveling up production, wouldn't it be nice to have a business coach ride along with you on the journey? Well, buckle up. This is Business Ride Along. From audio content production to podcasting to event and video production, Kudzukian has made great shifts from its beginnings. The move to AgriCenter has opened doors and opportunities for the team to step into new industries with their innovative production. But first, Mike Synk wants the team to remember the rocks that they have to move to get through those doors and into a brighter future.
So we've been through a lot, thinking blue sky, and now we're coming down to the last bit of the journey here. We're going to work on rocks. So we're going to go back to the beginning into one of our original sessions, and we're going to review what rocks are, because today we're deciding on rocks. What rocks we're going to move in the next 3 months. Okay? So if you remember this picture, this is Kudzukian right now. This is where you're going to be in the future. And the idea is, hey, we got to move from here to here. And we've already talked about gaps and the things that we need to fill the gaps. And we've had a 3HAG, and we've talked about core values and all this other stuff. We're not going to talk about that right now. I'm just going to review with you what is going on. On this side of the hole is sand. And this is all that transactional things you do. When you do them well, your customers pay you. Okay, an invoice gets paid, the credit card gets run, something, the transactional stuff that pays the bills, gives the cash flow, and you want to get more of this, okay? And you're working on it, and you're pretty good at it, and that stuff goes into the hole, and you start moving closer to where you want to be, okay? Now, at the same time, at the top of the hole or around are things what we're calling rocks. Rocks are those more difficult things that allow you to push the sand faster or find more sand or do everything better that adds up to growth. Okay, it's a complex activity that a couple people do. It's not a to-do. It's not a sales call. It's not producing a show, which is all over here. This is projects. Think projects or initiatives that involve a number of people that are kind of complex, but if you figure it out and move that rock, the rock goes into the hole, and the same amount of effort pushing the sand gets a bigger result. Today we're going to figure out rocks. Now, if you remember, in our last session, we talked about bridges. These are the things that are going to close the gap between today and the 3HAG. Okay? And there are 4 areas. We put up a bunch of ideas of things that happen, and you sorted it down to 4 areas. Now, these are the bridges. What we're going to do today is look at 2 of the bridges in particular. The sales team or the sales force bridge, and we're going to look at the personnel bridge. And we're going to split you up into 2 teams. So Larry, Joy, and Kirk are going to work on this one. Misty, Jeremy, Asha, and Matthew are going to work together on what are the personnel things we're going to have to put in place, again, to get over the bridge that we can get to 24. At that last session, we said we're probably going to end up having 24 staff. Double. That just doesn't happen because I hire this person, I hire this person. There's so much involved in it. And that's when I'm saying rocks, what are the things that are going to get us over the bridge to the other side? That's what I'm looking for. Now, while you're doing this, I want you to think of a couple things. I want you to think of order. Okay, there might be something that's most important in your mind on the sales force, but often there's something that's got to be done first to get to the important thing. So order is important. And the idea is we're going to get to 2 or 3 rocks at a time, pulling it from these bridges. And we're going to execute on that, and we're going to push the sand too. And the growth will come with it. Okay?
Right.
So, get to work.
As the two teams talk through the major hurdles within sales and personnel, each group identifies the top 5 rocks to move and which goes first. Mike Synk is urging the team to think past the sand or transactional business that powers Kudzukian. The rocks, or major projects and initiatives, can help them move closer to their goals faster. Each group needs to clearly outline those rocks. According to Mike, the next 90 days are critical in executing the first goal, with others to closely follow. But the team needs to be clear about the goals before they tackle the rock. This exercise is meant to give everyone a higher view of the company and its growth.
All right, so in this session with Mike Synk, we were able to establish our rocks, specifically in the personnel department. So the main one and the one that we're going to focus on is company structure, handbooks, onboarding, the whole process. What does that truly look like? And so I know that we have work to do, and so we do have to focus on that along with making sure we're moving our sand at the same time. So I don't want us to lose focus of that. And I do have faith in the team, and I know that we can accomplish that so that we are able to meet our 3 HAG.
Hi, Michael Synk here. If our show, Business Ride Along, is opening your eyes to how you can grow your business, I invite you to enroll in the School of Rock and Sand. All the key concepts, exercises, worksheets that Larry and I work through, core values, core customers, brand promise, meeting rhythm, and more, are available in a convenient, self-paced class. And if you want me to ride along with you as you work your way through them, you can upgrade and get me for one-on-one coaching. I'm pleased to offer Business Ride Along fans a special offer, 10% off your enrollment in the School of Rock and Sand. To take advantage of this special offer, visit rockandsand.com/ridealong. Again, that's rock, the letter N, sand.com/ride-along. Hope to see you soon. Now, let's get back to the business ride-along.
Okay, well done. We've got 5 rocks lined up in each one of these, and we've got the first one in each that we think is first. And that's the rock to be moved in the next 90 days. Now, the thing is, look at this as like a holding pattern. Right now, you think this is the order. At the end of the quarter, after you've moved the rock, you come back and like, which one of these goes next? Don't assume it's stick to this order, because you're going to learn a lot doing this that might change what you're going to do. It's just a holding place for rocks. And you might find out in the next 90 days, oh, we forgot about this. We got to put that in here. And there's room, if there's 12 quarters, you can have 12 rocks holding here. Now you're going to go to the other 2 bridges, okay, the technology and the communications, and do the same thing. Now there's a couple things that I'm going to put down here to kind of help you, and you need to figure this out. A rock doesn't get moved unless there's someone owns responsibility for moving the rock, an owner. Someone's name has got to be put on it. So that's the first thing. You need an owner. 2, you need to be able to measure that you're having progress. The third part, we talked about this before, and it's going to work well for you because you're already doing meeting rhythm. You need to talk about the rocks at least once a week. Remember meeting rhythm? Mondays, or your weekly huddle, the weekly meeting. Everyone who owns a rock should be giving a quick report on where they are. The meetings make sure the work gets done. Someone can say, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. You can solve it right then. Now, we've forgot about one thing. Let's not forget about the sand, okay? Because if you just work on the rocks, the sand goes away. And my advice here is treat the sand like you're treating the rock. But you've got to be talking about the sand and treating the buckets of sand the same way you're treating the rocks, because it'll go away or it'll suffer. This can't suffer, but the rocks got to get moved too. And that is really the dilemma of everything. But we've moved from blue sky. Now we're coming down to the actual rock and sand model, which we talked about right here.
Right.
We're making this whole business ride along, this whole rock and sand thing real right now. And I know you've all been waiting to figure out, what the heck are we going to do? Well, now you're ready for the next 12 quarters to every quarter sit down and say, this is what we're going to do. So you should congratulate yourselves. Well done.
Right.
This is a journey.
Let me take you on a journey.
The journey.
We had heard about college. Right. We didn't know anything about a master's degree. What is that?
They said, we want to play cowboys and Indians, but they didn't tell me they were going to tie me up. And one of the kids pulled a gun out of his parents' drawer.
The journey.
Journey.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown.
And I think my greatest fear was always, you can beat me unconscious. Just don't tell my mama.
The journey.
The journey.
To hear more incredible stories like this, check us out on the Kudzukian Network.
Today's session was very helpful for us because we pulled back and looked at things from the 30,000-foot view, particularly as it relates to sales. And sometimes we tend to get so bogged down and granular, looking at details and thinking about strategy before we pull back and look at the bigger view. So a couple of things came out of that, hiring a business development professional and also creating an ad sales strategy. Even before, and that's in the next 90 days, according to Mike Synk. And even after that, we have to kind of bullet out how that looks, who that person is, how they fit in with us, and determine if they can understand our company culture and our product.
The rocks are moving in the right direction and the sand is hard at work. In the next episode of Business Ride Along, Mike Synk will give Larry his complete strategic plan that will include each step of the rock and sand model.
Kudzukian. Check out all your Kudzukian favorites now. Download the Kudzukian app, available on Android and iOS.